Dragon Ball might be overrated. I'm saying this as a Dragon Ball fan. Dragon Ball is my favorite anime, but by all the five series, well, animes, I should say, Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super, and Dragon Ball Daima. Let's be honest, only two of them are great. That's Dragon Ball Z, of course. That's Dragon Ball. Then you have other two mid ones. That's Dragon Ball Super, in my opinion, Dragon Ball GT. Then you have the worst thing of all time, Dragon Ball Daima. Dragon Ball Daima is atrocious. Dragon Ball Daima is on the scales of Black Star Dragon Ball Arc GT bad. And it is. It just is. Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z are the only two perfect animes in this series. And the reason I suffer myself, yes, suffer myself by watching Dragon Ball Daima three times, I watched the subbed, then I watched the dubbed twice. The reason I have suffered myself watching that stems back to how good Dragon Ball Z was. Everything stems back to how good Z was. Z is my whole foundation of anime, period. So, we're about to go arc by arc in my opinions about Super, GT, and Daima. And let's start with Dragon Ball Super. The best out of those three I just named. By far the best out of the three that I just named. But I still got it as mid, but let's go arc by arc. First off, the Battle of Gods arc. It was the arc itself was bad. It was bad. The movie, on the other hand, was great. Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods might be the second best movie in Dragon Ball history, only behind Super Broly. It was just bad. There was no reason. I don't know what's Dragon Ball's obsession of keep like remaking the same arc. Like they did the same thing with Superhero and everything. I don't know what that their reception with that. It's terrible. Then the same thing with Resurrection of F. People don't like Resurrection of F. I actually the movie I think is pretty good. People hate it for some reason. But the arc on the other hand, I despise that arc. That arc is atrocious. Atrocious. It's bad. It's bad. It's really bad. And we got the Universe 6 survival arc. Finally, a thing in Dragon Ball Super where I think it's mid. It has a lot of good moments. I like Cabba's Vegeta's dynamic. Uh, I like Goku versus Hit, easily the best fight in the arc. The Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, I hate Super Saiyan Blue by the way. Super Saiyan Blue is terrible, but the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken moment, oh my, that be, it gets me blushing every time I see that. Now show the Kaioken, oh it gets me blushing. I can't lie, but that whole arc, it's really a lot of it seems boring. A lot of it is boring, like a lot of the Vegeta fights. It really does not give me like turn or anything. It just okay. Like the only really Vegeta fight I like is the one against Kaba. I don't like the one that gets hit or anything. I don't like how they did my goat like that and how he just got buried by hit. It was a terrible performance by my goat, and I really just don't like it. I think it's okay that Goku didn't beat hit, but it was Monaka. I think that was it was it wasn't like great or anything. I think it's okay. I'm not mad of it. But it's not great or anything either. So yeah, I would say that was a mid arc because there's only really three fights I should say that like I really liked during that arc. Kaba versus Vegeta, Goku versus Hit, and probably Frost versus Goku. Now we got the Goku Black arc, which in my opinion, is a good arc. But the problems, it's a lot of problems in the Goku Black arc. We don't even have to start about the timeline thing. Everybody knows about that. It's messed up. It doesn't make sense. Even about to talk about that. But overall, the Goku Black arc is the best thing so far in Dragon Ball Super. It that I was is the best arc that I just named Dragon Ball Super so far. The ending was terrible. Oh, the ending was terrible. First off, seeing my goat come back, my goat Vegito come back. That was one of the greatest moments in my whole experience of watching Dragon Ball Z. I mean, just Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, the whole Dragon Ball series. That was that's one of my favorite moments. But then after watching Vegito beat up Fusamasu, oh my, this terrible Super Saiyan Rage happened. A transformation that is worse than Super Saiyan Blue. Then after the Super Saiyan Rage, got another terrible moment where Zamasu is just fused with the universe. So Goku had to get Zeno to destroy the whole universe. It was terrible. That ending was terrible. But overall, that Goku Black arc was great. Not great, good. It was good. I like most of the fights. I hate Super Saiyan Rage, but Goku Black arc, I was a good. Now we go to the Tournament of Power. This arc, oh my, this arc right here. This is the definition of inconsistent. I would say it is a good arc because the highs of the tournament power are just high, but the lows, they are some of the most boring moments I have watching any Dragon Ball show. They are on the levels of me. The lows of the tournament power are on the levels of me watching Goku fight the dragons in Z. I mean, the dragons in GT. They were so boring, but the highs of the tournament power is unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. So I would say I like the tournament power. It's a good arc. So Super, we got two good arcs, two bad arcs, and a mid arc. What does this make Dragon Ball Super? Mid. Oh, now we go GT. Now we go GT. GT's bad. GT in a lot of aspects is bad. But one arc saves GT, and we're about to get to that. But first, the Black Star Dragon Ball arc. Oh, it's bad. It's really bad. By far the worst arc in Dragon Ball GT, and that's saying something. That's really saying something. I don't really want to talk about this arc much more. Just know it was bad. Uh, it was incredibly boring. But then, but then we go to my opinion, one of the greatest arcs in all of Dragon Ball, the Baby Saga. This was amazing from start to finish. This was amazing. Watching Goku turn Super Saiyan 4 for the very first time, amazing. This arc carries GT by a lot, and it really does. It really does. Now goes Super 17 arc. It just does not make sense how all the villains came to Earth. Would do this hole or something. It was bad, but I love the ending. I really love the ending of the Super 17 arc. I would say this is a bad to mid arc. Bad in between bad and mid. I do. It's barely passable. It's barely passable. I'm not gonna lie, it's barely passable, but it's a lot of good moments. Again, Vegeta. Oh my, bro. Dragon Ball GT Vegeta was terrible. Dragon Ball GT Vegeta was atrocious, bro. I'm not talking about his character thing. I'm talking about his performances. It was terrible, bro. Terrible, bro. Was not performing like my goat, bro. Then last arc of GT, a lot of great moments, but the start, oh my, the start was atrocious. The start was the most boring I have had watching a Dragon Ball ever by far, even including Dragon Ball Daima. But that end is great. As soon as Ice Shimron came, I really were in to that the arc. I really was. The only thing I got wrong with is I I hate Gogeta. I hate Gogeta. He did win the fight. You want to add that he did not lose. I hate how people saying just because a fusion runs out or anything they lose. That does not mean that. It does not mean that he won that fight. Uh, they be always using that against Vegeta. Man, Vegeta's undefeated. So is Gogeta, sadly. Watching Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta for the first time, then fuse into Gogeta, which I didn't really like, but it was a fun, like I was having fun watching it. It was a fun moment. Gogeta was going for the Big Bang Kamehameha wave, and it was just like a Fetty. That was funny. The end of the arc. The end is the best end in all of Dragon Ball by far. The end of that arc, which concludes the end of GT. And Dragon Ball Daima. Oh my. Contradictions, the retcons, stuff that just don't make sense in Dragon Ball Daima is why this is by far the worst Dragon Ball anime of all time. It is, and it's not even close. I have like two good episodes, like two mid episodes, then you just get trash. I'm not lying. I am not overreacting. People who like this, they don't like it. I'm gonna tell you this right now. They do not like it. They're lying to themselves because that was Akira Toriyama's last work. They do not like that. I refuse to believe anybody likes that. They're lying to themselves again because it was Akira Toriyama's last work. And I really want to like it. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT in my opinion. I really want to like it. I really want to go back to it and have fun watching it. But I can't. Every time I'm going to go back to that, which I am going to go back to that, I'm going to watch it a lot of times. Because why? Because it all stems back to Dragon Ball Z. It all stems back to the feeling, the love I have for Dragon Ball Z. That's why I watch anything Dragon Ball. It all stems back to Dragon Ball Z. So is Dragon Ball overrated? No, I don't think so. Dragon Ball have a lot of problems, yes, just like every other anime. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and yeah.